Another weekend and another semi-abandoned Rover to rescue. Well, it doesn't really need rescuing, but it does need putting away somewhere safer than just out here. This thing, well, it used to be my drift car, so I never did drifting properly. I just used to do the practice days, bits and pieces, but it was seriously good fun. This I got as a rolling shell. It had no engine or box in it, but what it did have was a genuine TWR LSD, like an actual clutch type limited slip differential, rather than either a Torsen or a helical gear one or a welded diff. It's got jag brakes, it's got lots of acorns on it. It's got modified rear end with that bar running across, Ali Bar's 1980s roll cage, hydraulic handbrake, adjustable control arms on the front, and at the back the whole Watts linkage has been modified and then raised up so that it can go really low and yet the Watts linkage remains level. It's got coilovers front and rear, a few other bits and pieces, which means that although it looks like a complete turd, oh yeah, wide arches obviously, yeah, it looks like a complete turd, but it's actually a fantastic car for drifting. It's got cranked and modified steering arms on it under the front, which means that you don't have any Ackerman angle, which, if you know about suspension geometry, basically if you're going round a corner, the steered wheels, well, all the wheels have to take a different radius curve. If your wheels, as you turned them, went on the same angle, they'd actually end up scrubbing. So Ackerman is designed into a car so that you can turn one wheel slightly more than the other. But on a drift car, you don't really want that, because you want the front, when they're steered, to be parallel so they don't scrub and slow you down. So yeah, the steering arms have been cranked and modified so that you can turn the wheel, you get loads of lock, and the wheels, front wheels, actually remain parallel, which is really cool. In there is a 3.9 litre V8 with hot wire fuel injection. It's got massive headers, it's got a massive galvanized wing sump underneath with baffles for good for drifting. It's still got the front end with just a standard SD1 belt. It doesn't have the serpentine front end, which in hindsight is a bit of a fail, because these engines in a drift car go from basically idle to full 5,500 RPM when you dip the clutch and boot it. So it generally just, they only last for a few, I don't know, sessions, and then it spits another belt off. So if I was doing it again, I'd go serpentine. That's an S14 radiator out of my other drift car. Yeah, so it's all looking a bit sad. It was built into a Vitesse body shell, and when somebody did it, they actually changed the whole roof skin. So that's nice to have, because it's a bit more motorsport. We have the plastic slidey windows. We have a nice big puddle. That's not great. Motor drive seats. I love these. I'm quite skinny, but those motor drive seats are fantastic. There's a hydraulic handbrake. Kept the original as well, because this was actually MOT'd and I was driving it around on the road like this, which was really good fun. The previous owner for some reason decided to put a whole load of speed holes in the back, which really fucked me off genuinely, because it looks like the hungry caterpillar has eaten his way through there. And the dumb thing was, presumably he did that for weight saving, but he left all of the under seal and the carpets in, which were fully waterlogged, which weighed an absolute ton. So why you'd bother doing that, I really have no idea. Yeah, anyway, that's enough prattling about. That's the car, that's the trailer. I just have to get it started and loaded and then back to my place. Right, found the keys after a search. This car has an isolator there. The battery's actually in a tray back here, and I've just checked it and it's got exactly 12 volts. Keys are there. A while ago I had a bit of a fail and the starter motor wire snapped off. So I've put a new end on it, but I don't know whether you can see, the end isn't big enough for the solenoid. So I'm just balancing it on there, and hopefully it will make enough of a contact to throw the starter in. I might have to go and do this properly if it doesn't work. But basically, that is about on there. If I can get my hand out without knocking it. Yeah, it uses a Series 1 engine loom, which I then modified to work with the rest of it. Not particularly clever, but right, let's have a go. I can hear fuel pump. Oh, that sounds good. No. We are going to need more power. Right, go and find another battery. Right, found another battery. Doesn't have huge amounts of charge in it, but have another go. I've put down there already. Oh, that's not. There we go. I don't think it's. Oh! There we go. That's a surprise. That was always a really good engine. I think it's only done 80,000 miles. And although this car looks like a bit of a heap of crap, it has been, well, fettled a bit to the point that it actually runs really nicely. So that's good. It also means that now I've got a reliable 12 volt supply, I can get some air in those tyres. I don't have my actual lead from for my compressor, but I can use the crappy little car one. That's pretty cool, the way the timing's working. Must be something to do with the frame rate. Right, so I'm going to go get a tyre pump and start putting air in these tyres. And I've just remembered the reason this came off the road was because the clutch went. It was actually pissing out clutch fluid. Whoops. Oh, fuck. Right, yeah, anyway, clutch fluid was pissing down the bulkhead in there. So hopefully there's enough of a clutch for me to get it on and off the trailer. I have to say, so far, this is all going rather well. I'm a bit out of breath because I've just manhandled that trailer around, and I'm fit and unhealthy. Oh, sorry, unfit and unhealthy. Clutch seems fine actually, which is surprising. I've just remembered one problem. This car's so low, it's hard to get it on the trailer. I used to have some 14-inch alloys with massive sidewall tyres, which meant it would go up and over quite easily, so I might have to get a few blocks of wood or something. Loading this thing, I have to block that road out there, so I won't actually video that. I'll have to hook up, drive out, shove the ramps on, throw that up it, and then back in here before I block the road. And it's on. Just. It only just goes on this trailer, but it's fine for weight, but it's just a bit long, so I have to be quite clever with how I put my ratchet straps on. But yeah, that's good. I will now strap it down and then get it home. A jiffy later, we have it on and loaded, strapped down all four corners. So that's good. So off home, get it unloaded. I won't be able to put it in the garage tonight, but at least it will be safe. Okay, car safely arrived. It's going to sit out here tonight while I do the final clear out in the garage. It drove off the trailer and battery started up first time, so that's good. Anyway, last video somebody asked that I actually do a proper sign off, so here's the sign off. Bye.